Once again, I have played a ton of cozy games. So in this video, I am going to be reviewing them all. Now, there's always a select few that I am saving for other videos I'm working on. So stay tuned for those videos coming in the future and be sure to subscribe to this channel. I'm gonna get started right now. The first game is Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, which just released at the end of last month, and it is on Nintendo Switch, of course. I'm super excited to try this game out, and I can say that I am really enjoying it so far. I'm only about 10 hours in, so I have ways to go. It's such a nice game. It's a really great playthrough so far. The puzzles have a good difficulty level. Some are harder than others. It seems like they kind of increase as you go on, but you can kind of play in a different order than maybe someone else played in. So I don't know. So in this game, you play as Zelda, and you are trying to find Link and clear the rifts that have popped up all over Hyrule, and only Zelda can restore these. As Zelda, you're going to solve puzzles, and you're going to defeat enemies with your echoes, or what is basically a copy ability, where you can use items that you find in the world and then like make copies of them and use them against enemies and to solve puzzles and things like that. This game is super cool. I really like the art style of this, and I want to see Nintendo use this art style again and again and again because I really love it. This game seems to have a more streamlined, like linear kind of story to it in a way than obviously the open-ended open world games that I've played in the Zelda series. The combat in this game is unique because you can access Link's weapons as Zelda, but you don't have a lot of time where you can actually use those. They're like limited time. So you have to be creative in how you use the copies or the echoes that you've collected to defeat the enemies. And it can be a little bit hard at times. Like you just want to slash them with a sword, but you already used up your sword time. So that's been a little hard, but it makes you think. I kind of like the combat. I like that I don't have to necessarily be overly involved in it, and I can just send out someone else like that I have an echo of to go and do it for me. But yeah, I am really enjoying this one. Although it's $60, I do find that it's worth it. It has that Nintendo magic, and I would say that this one is a definite play. I totally recommend it. It's a great game so far. So this next game is Garden of the Sea, and it was gifted to me, and I've played about an hour and a half of this one. Garden of the Sea used to be only VR, but now it is also on Steam without the VR, so it's like, you know, you don't have to play in VR if you just want to play on your computer. I wasn't really expecting much from this game, but I actually ended up really enjoying it. This is a first-person game, so if you often feel sick from those type of games, then you shouldn't play this one, and it's not going to be for you. I often do get sick during first-person games, but not all the time, and with this one I found myself feeling fine. I also don't get sick when I play these games handheld, but I haven't tried this one handheld yet. So in this game, you grow crops, you do crafting, you complete quests, and there are these adorable little animals that you will come across, and I really love them. You can pet them, you can feed them. The more you do so, the more they'll like you. They'll request certain items that you can bring to them if you can find them, and I really like those animals in the game. They're so cute. I also love the color palette of this game. It's like a lot of pastels, and it's just really pretty. And I like how this game is guided by these little signposts and crafting quests and things like that. It's not like go here, do this, do that. You have like a lot of different options, and then you can like choose, okay, I'm gonna fulfill this one first. I'm gonna build a house, or I'm gonna work on making the boat. And I like how it's very open-ended, but it's also guided in a very like relaxed way. I think it does that well. I hope I'm explaining that okay. And the thing about this game is I've only played an hour and a half so far, but I would like to continue playing more. I just find that this game for me was better in shorter bursts, at least for my first time playing it. And I feel like this game is a nice grind. You gather and grow the items that you need in order to progress, and it has just a nice gameplay loop that I typically do tend to lean towards. It doesn't feel fetch questy to me so far in the little time that I've played it, and it's definitely quite relaxing, and it allows you to choose what you want to do next. And this isn't like my favorite game in the entire world. I would suggest picking this one up on a sale or looking into if it's going to be a favorite game of yours, but for me it's kind of just like meh, but I do want to play it more. It's very relaxed at the same time, but it's not like your typical farming sim where you're like, I'm so invested, I'm in love with this, and I'm grinding for everything in the game. It's just more laid back, but I do recommend it, maybe getting it on a sale. The next game is called A Tiny Sticker Tale. I recently talked about this game in another video, but because it's one that I've recently played, I'm gonna mention it here again, and for a good reason. I've played about 5.5 hours of this game. This game is on Nintendo Switch, it's on Steam, probably other places too. And I did not mean to fall in love with this game, but I did. It just happens. We were just feeling it, okay? It's just been in my library for quite a while, and I finally decided to play it because I've been trying to play the games that I haven't played. This game is so precious, so wholesome, and I just love it. It has simple puzzles that you solve by using the stickers you collect around the world. Basically everything on the map is a sticker, and this is a super fun game. It's very short. You can collect all the stickers in the game as one of the achievements, and I did that because I loved it. When I really like a game, I will try to go for the achievements as long as it's not like a farming sim or something, and with this game I tried to do that. The one thing that was most frustrating about this game is that one of the achievements at the end, you basically have to like restart the entire game in order to get that achievement. So you have to do another playthrough, and I don't want to do that right now. So maybe in the future I'll be able to get that one. But that was one of those things for me where I was pretty disappointed in that, but I didn't find that I wasted my time on this one. I really enjoyed it. You do these little puzzles and it's really fun. So eventually I'll have to play this game again and get an alternative ending so I can get that last achievement, and I highly recommend picking it up when you can. This next game is called What Remains of Edith Finch, and I completed this game in about 2.5 hours. I had another video that I was working on about story games. I ended up dropping that video, but this is one of the games I played in anticipation for that video. So I'm just gonna mention those games here instead. What Remains of Edith Finch has rave reviews on Steam, and so I was pretty curious. I've had this one sitting in my library for a while, and I wanted to play it. I kind of went in blind with this one, and I didn't expect it to be so eerie. So this one's definitely perfect for the Halloween season. But if you do choose to play it, definitely look up the trigger warnings, because this game does have a lot of death and loss and grief and themes like that. The content of the story is not the coziest, but I wouldn't say this game is like gory or anything like that. But anyway, this game is basically a walking simulator. You play as Edith Finch, and you revisit the house that you grew up in. You are the last remaining in your family. Everyone else has died or gone missing, and you have a baby on the way. You want to find out what all has happened to the rest of your family. So as you interact with the house and the items inside, you will jump into the stories of your family members, and you'll experience their stories and see what happened to them. This game is so enticing, it's really thrilling, and it keeps you very immersed and invested. The storytelling is done very well. I don't have a lot of complaints about this game. The one complaint I do have is that I did have a bug during part of my gameplay where I had to go back, exit out the game, and then kind of lost a little bit of progress. But that was the only time that happened during my playthrough. I played this in one sitting, and so it wasn't too bad, and it was a pretty nice game that you could just play in one sitting and finish, so I always enjoy that. So I would recommend this game as long as you're comfortable with the themes that will be mentioned in this game, and this one is certainly a game that will stick with you. So definitely check it out if you feel like it's for you. I do recommend it. The next game is also a story game I played for a video that I didn't make. And I played this one for a little over an hour until I completed it. So it's a very short story game that I've had just laying around in my library, of course. And now I finally played it. This is a precious little game. It's also made by the same people who made the game To the Moon, which I've played earlier this year. And I really, really enjoyed. This is a wholesome story about a boy and a bird and the friendship and bond they create. This game is really cool because it tells the story without using any dialogue. You just walk through the game and you see the story unfold in front of you without having any dialogue, which I think is really cool. And they do it very, very well that you don't need that dialogue. It also puts you more in your head, like you're thinking about it, you're feeling through it. So I really like that too. This game goes on sale for super cheap a lot of the time, so definitely be on the lookout if you want a very short story game that you can finish in about an hour. I do recommend it. I really liked the story and it was super sweet. But did you know that you can buy cozy games on a discount even when they're not on a discount on the eShop or on Steam? Well, you can. You can do just that with Instant Gaming. Thank you, Instant Gaming, for sponsoring this portion of the video. I always double check on Instant Gaming before purchasing a game because they often have keys that are cheaper than what they are on Steam or on the eShop. And they sell them without the upcharge that Nintendo Switch and Steam charge so that they can make a cut from the game. So Instant Gaming gets these keys straight from the source and then sells them without the distribution cost. Instant Gaming has keys for Steam, Nintendo Switch, and other consoles as well. You can also buy gift cards on there, even a little bit cheaper than what they are worth. So like you might get a little discount on a $50 gift card, pay less than $50 for it. That's kind of nice. They have several cozy games for cheaper costs, such as Lotto Knot, Moonstone Island DLC, Sticky Business, Littlewood, Cuisinier, Sims 4 packs, and so much more. So be sure to click the link in the description to check out Instant Gaming for yourself to see what it's all about. I am also hosting a giveaway with Instant Gaming this month again, so be sure to click the link in my description if you'd like to enter for any key of your choice from Instant Gaming. That will be linked below, so check it out. Back to the video. We're going to talk about Ninano Dream Ranch. This game I played about 3 hours of, and I know that this one was made by a single one-person dev. This game is so cute. I love the colors, I love the characters, I love the animals. I think it's adorable, which is why I picked it up and bought it. But it definitely does have its issues, especially when I played, but I still had fun with that because I was streaming it. The gameplay at its core is not feeling very finished. It did feel pretty early access for me, which does make sense. You know, if you have a very small dev team, that often happens when you launch a game. But I think we've all been pretty disappointed in games launching fully and then feeling early access. So I want you guys to be aware of that. And I know the dev has also been hard at work, you know, trying to fix these bugs too. There were bugs like animals not staying in the fences, my game just crashing randomly or freezing, and just some mechanics not even working. Although I do feel like this game does have good potential. I feel like the characters were interesting and had good personalities. The game was translated well in English, but the game was also not as guided as I would have liked it to be, and I felt a little lost at times, just like walking around. I don't even know what I was doing in the game. I feel like I accomplished nothing in 3 hours. It wasn't as guided as I would have liked it to be. I would have liked a better tutorial and more helpful tutorial, and more tutorials that just pop up as you unlock other things like animals and stuff. And I don't plan on playing this one again, which is why I'm not going to give you a full recommendation for this one. I'm personally not going to play it again because I feel like there just wasn't very much there. There wasn't anything that's really very enticing or pulling me in. Nothing hooked me. I just feel like there are tons of farming sims out there that do things really well right off the bat, and this one needs more polish, more time, and more patching. So I don't recommend this game. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm leaving you at with this one. I think it's really cute. It has a lot of heart, but I did buy it. I did support the dev, and those are my honest thoughts. The next game is called CopyCat. This game was gifted to me and I played about 3.5 hours and I completed the game. The game is $15.99 on Steam and I really enjoyed this one. I knew I was going to enjoy this one. I played the demo during Steam Next Fest and I couldn't wait for the game after that. I was so excited for it. I do feel like this is a good game for the Halloween season. It's just fun. It's cute. It's not scary, but you know, sometimes you're in the dark and you're a cat. So I feel like it's Halloween. I don't know. I have no logic behind it. I just feel like it came out at a good time and it fits the season. It didn't disappoint me. This is a story-driven experience where you play as a newly adopted cat, but you soon find out that there's a copycat. I don't want to give too much of the story away. You're going to have to play this one yourself if you're interested. As a cat, you can break things. You're going to cause a lot of chaos. You will swat toys and do like this mini game experience. You'll explore. You'll do some minimal platforming, nothing too difficult. The only thing about this game that I felt like was kind of weird at times was just how the NPCs looked. I felt like at times I'm like, they kind of creep me out a little bit, even though they're supposed to be like these comforting characters at times. At least the one who adopted you is supposed to be at times comforting. But this is an emotional roller coaster of a game, but it was really cool and I do recommend picking it up. This next game is called Caravan Sandwitch and I only played 2.5 hours of it. I've been dreading talking about this game because it felt like one of those games that everyone who played it loved it and raved about it. But I was like, what am I missing? Because I'm not having that experience. Maybe I need to restart the game, but I don't have the time to do that. I don't want to do that. As you can tell, I just didn't jive with this game for some reason. I did play the demo of this game back when the Wholesome Direct announced this one. I really was excited for it. I really liked the music. I really liked the environment, and it felt like it would be something for me. And even in the game that I've played so far, I really liked the music. I really liked the environments as well. And you can tell that there's a lot of heart and a lot of creativity in this game. It feels full, it feels polished. I didn't come across any bugs. You know, you can get your van stuck, but you have ways to get yourself out of that and like respawn, you know, your van. So that's not an issue at all. Like, things were really thought through with this one. This is a story game where you are trying to find your sister who's been missing for a long time. You got this signal on your toaster or basically on your phone, and you're trying to find out where it came from, but you also have to unjam all these other signals around the map to unlock the map and be able to see it, to eventually find out what happens with your sister and what's going on there. You'll also collect different like mechanical pieces or something around the world, and this game apparently is only like 5 hours or something to complete. I'm about 2.5 hours in. I just kept getting stuck. I would get stuck on side quests. I would have trouble finding out, okay, what was I doing, or where was I supposed to go next, or how was I supposed to feed them? What am I supposed to do? So I was just getting stuck a lot. I just felt like I'm like stupid or something when I'm playing the game. I just didn't enjoy it. I don't know. I was trying to then focus on the main quests. I even went in the other day, played it for like 10 minutes, try and get more thoughts on the game and see, okay, maybe I just need to go back in and like find a different way to play it. And I still felt the same way. So I feel like I just hit a point where I'm like, this isn't a game for me. This actually isn't a game that I typically would enjoy. It's this open world game. You drive a little caravan around, which is really fun, and they do that well. And you're trying to like figure out the story, but I don't know. I just didn't like it. So you might really like it, and I do feel bad because this game was gifted to me, but this is my experience. So if you were maybe thinking of playing the game and you like the games that I like, open-ended like farming sims, then maybe you won't like this game like I did. So hopefully this can help somebody make a decision on it. I didn't love this one. I honestly don't recommend it, but I also know that there is a full player base out there that loves the game, is raving about it and giving it good reviews. But for me, I just didn't like it. Next game is Critter Cove, and it's in early access on Steam. I played about 13.5 hours of the game so far, and Critter Cove is awesome. I really enjoyed this game. It has a ton of quests that you do, and you can choose what you want to work on. This game has a lot of uniqueness, but also a lot of familiarity, especially to Animal Crossing, as you go to different islands and you find villagers to invite to your island. And then you can also go the extra mile, assign them to jobs, and it has to be the right job for them, which you can tell by how they respond to you in the dialogue. They'll tell you if they're the right fit or not. If they're not the right fit, they're gonna cause chaos. If they are the right fit, they're gonna like their job and do a good job. So I just find it so unique. You work on building this apocalyptic town back up, and you will open shops, you will build villagers' houses, and so there's a lot of grinding that you have to do. You have to travel to other islands, get more resources, especially after a storm when more resources will spawn. I really enjoy it. I really like it. It's super unique. The character customizer, you can play as a human, a critter, or a mix of both, because you can basically create anything with any color. And I know that they're going to be adding more character customization and also just a ton more to the game. If you ever take a look at the roadmap, it's got a ton of ambition. The team behind this game seems super passionate. It's definitely very, very enjoyable. This game is in early access, and I think there's about 20 hours of quests and gameplay that you can play, but obviously more will come as early access continues to expand and grow. I feel like 20 hours is a pretty good amount. The game doesn't feel empty. It doesn't feel buggy. Like, everything felt really good in this game for early access. I am currently trying to limit the games that I'm playing in early access, but this is an early access game that I do recommend playing, so be sure to check out Critter Cove. This next game is Core Keeper, and I don't even know how I've sunk almost 5 hours into Core Keeper already, but I have. I guess it's easy to do in this game. This is a game that definitely feels like it's catered to co-op. Now, I'm not big on co-op. I just don't play co-op, but I did play co-op with this one just a little bit, but most of my gameplay was in single player mode. Playing on my own was better for me because I could learn the game on my own time and my own pace. This is a very figure it out yourself type of a game, so that's what you do. You just kind of jump into the game, you hit the walls with your mining pickaxe, and you open up the map, you open up the world, and you explore. It's just exploring and building and crafting. There are enemies, there is combat. You can play in different modes. If you want it to be more cozy, if you want it to be more, less cozy, you can kind of do that. There are pink cows in this game, so that always gives me a little bit of a bias. You'll do a lot of foraging in this game and a lot of crafting. You can decorate, you can do all that stuff. You can kind of do whatever you want to do, and it does have some type of like storyline to it, but for the most part, I didn't feel like they connected me very well to a storyline or to whatever I was supposed to be doing. I feel like they don't want you to feel like there's something you're supposed to be doing. Just kind of have fun and build and create. You can die in this game, and when you die, you will spawn at your base, and you can continue on the game. You can go back to where you died and get all your items back. You won't keep any of the items that aren't in your hotbar, so make sure that you keep your most prized possessions in the hotbar. I didn't get super far with this game, even in almost 5 hours of playing. I was just exploring, I was just decorating, trying to make my base. I was naming the pink cows, cute little names, and making a little fenced area for them that keeps them away from the enemies. And this game, it feels like something I'm not going to really play again unless I play co-op. I just need more guidance in my games. I need more things that I feel like a sense of reward completing. And for me, I just didn't feel like that in this type of gameplay. But if you like games that are just exploring and decorating and, some combat and fighting and very open-ended to you completely, then you might like this game. I might revisit this one if I play co-op with somebody. With all that being said, this game is not for everyone. I don't feel like it's not necessarily for me. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. I'm not obsessed. I just feel in the middle on this one. So I feel like I'm just going to leave this one open to you. I do recommend it, but I also feel like there's a crowd that I don't think would like it if you just want like very guided games. You're not getting that with this. Keep that in mind. And Core Keeper, pretty solid. This next game is called Europa, and it was gifted to me. I played about 5 hours, and I played this one on Nintendo Switch. This game is super pretty, it's very Ghibli-esque, and you play as Z, and as you explore the world, you're going to open letters from your father that are about your life and how you got there. I haven't seen the ending of this game, even in 5 hours. I've heard some people can complete it way faster than that. I'm on the 13th chapter of the game. I wonder how many chapters there are, so if you know, please comment below because I'm very curious about that. Hello, it's Men from the future. I actually ended up finishing Europa the night after filming this video, and I enjoyed the ending. I only had like 20 more minutes to play. The game has 14 chapters, if I'm correctly remembering, and the ending was nice. I feel that even with seeing the ending of this game, that my thoughts on the game at this point of recording are still valid, so I'm gonna let you listen to Men from the past now. Okay. Go have fun. I hope she's nice to you. I'm sure she is. I played the 5 hours in one sitting on a stream, so I was getting a little bit burnt, and I was like, okay, I need to take a break at this point. So I did stop playing at that point because I was getting frustrated with the platforming. Sometimes you come back in and you're like, oh, this wasn't that hard. I was just feeling frustrated and tired, maybe. So I don't feel like this game is too hard. Like I said, it does have a lot of platforming, it does have puzzles, and it's very linear. It's a relaxed game that is very linear. You follow the story. There's no side quests to distract you. So I liked this a lot better than Caravan Sandwich for an exploration game. It has beautiful environments that you'll explore, and you have to do those platforming and puzzles to advance the story and open up the next areas. I mostly enjoyed this game, but there were times where I wished that there was a mini map or an easier way for me to identify which direction I'm supposed to be going in. This game is guided by the experience, so I'd often be going backwards instead of towards the direction I was supposed to be going in, and I was having trouble identifying because everything just kept looking the same to me, where I'm supposed to go and which direction was the right direction. There are little ways that they like guide you, but I just kept getting a little bit lost, but eventually I would find my way back and I was fine. So I was never getting lost for like an extremely long period of time. I just kind of got disoriented with my direction, and maybe that's a me thing, but it was a thing and I'm telling you about it. I also did get frustrated with the platforming at times. There are like some puzzles mixed into the platforming, and those would get me a little bit frustrated sometimes. The majority is not difficult and is a very cozy experience, especially in the beginning of the game. And there are some levels that are just like flying around and are really relaxing, and then there's others that make you think a bit more. There's no health meter in this game, there's no combat, but there are like bombs and lasers that will point at you and they'll hit you at times, which is just an obstacle. There's no health that is going down or any game over. You just kind of fall on the ground. You're a little bit stunned and slower paced after that, but it's nothing too wild. It's just not a game that maybe I would really lean towards. I really just looked into this one because it's very Ghibli-esque and I like that. But I also will say I feel like this game is a really fair price. It's only $14.99, and for what you're getting and the amount of gameplay you're getting, I feel like that price is very good. I like that this game is just a linear story and it doesn't have a bunch of distracting side quests to take you off track. It keeps me more immersed in the story and like what's going on and what it's trying to, explain to me and what it's trying to help me recognize as I'm going through the game. I do recommend this game for the price that it is. The next game is called Garden Witch Life, and I played it for 7 hours. This game is on Nintendo Switch and Steam, and this game was gifted to me. I have made a full video on this game and my thoughts, fully reviewing it, so if you want to know more, please check it out there. But I wanted to follow up in case you didn't see that video and let you know that I still follow through with my thoughts from that video. I don't recommend this game, especially on Nintendo Switch, after seeing a lot of comments from you guys about how you felt about the game and how it was basically unplayable on Switch. I know it did get a patch since then, so that's really good, but I don't know how much that improved the gameplay. The game is $19.99 on Steam and $10 more on Switch at $29.99, which I just think is annoying and weird and confusing. Especially on Switch, the game runs much more poorly, but they're gonna charge $10 more for it. I honestly do not recommend this game, and I should have been more upfront with that in my past video, but I think it's obvious that I didn't recommend it. At the gameplay level, this game felt lifeless. It needs way more guidance and grindiness or something. Although this game is cute on the surface, it did not perform in terms of gameplay, and so this one is a pass. The next game I also made a full video on, and this one is called Tiny Glade, and I've played 16.6 hours so far. It's only on Steam right now, but it is an incredible game, so check out my other video on it. I am so excited because the devs did say that they're going to continue supporting this game after they take a little break because the game just launched. But anyway, Tiny Glade is a diorama building game. You can create little houses, or you can create majestic castles and towns, and I didn't expect to like this game, but I do. It has no quests, it has no achievements, it's just a building game. There are prompts that are daily and they reset every 24 hours. Those are really fun. They'll even start with a little base of what you can kind of build off of, so I love that. I cannot wait to see what else comes to this game. I literally cannot wait for that. It's so amazing. It's only $14.99. I definitely recommend it. I highly recommend playing Tiny Glade. And those are all of the games. Like, I need to take a breath after talking about them all. There are so many games. I'm assuming I'm gonna play so many more games the rest of this year. So stay tuned for more videos and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. If you liked this one, like the video, and hopefully I'll see you in my next YouTube video. Bye!